Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Girlfriends and Gossip Podcast. I am your host, Shantae, and as always, I like to remind you that this is a safe space full of love, light, truth, and transparency. Here we will always uplift and never tear down. So before we get into today's episode, I always like to give you the tea. Today's tea is the Bigelow cinnamon stick with classic chai. And as I've already told you, it's just black tea because I'm doing certain dietary restrictions, mostly just sugar. So this is just plain black tea that I actually enjoy. I just want to kind of spice it up a little bit this week and add a little cinnamon to it. And so this is what I have done. Today's PJs is actually a lounge set that I got from Nasty Gal. And as always, I will link the description for all items in the description box. So let's just jump right into it. Today's episode is going to be about getting your house in order. We sprung forward on Sunday, and I want us to continue to spring forward, as in continue to grow to higher heights this year. And so this week, we are going to be discussing getting your house in order and what does that mean. So when I say get your house in order, that means number one, you got to start with yourself. And then it trickles down to your spouse, your children, your finances, your mental and physical health. All of those things will fall into place once you get your house in order, meaning you, your temple, as well as your physical home, and anything else that you're associated with, whether it's your business, whether it's your job, all of those things should be in a certain order. The very first thing that you have to do to get your house in order is self reflection. You really have to look at yourself and see what it is that you do that you can improve. You cannot change other people. The only person that you can change or control truly is yourself. I, for one, have no issue with taking accountability for the things that I needed to get in order in my life. So if you feel like you're being fussed at this week, then guess what? I'm only telling you the things that I've had to tell myself. And that's where the accountability piece comes in, the self reflection piece comes in. You can't continue doing the same things that you're doing and expect a different outcome. Y'all know science is my thing, but guess what? That is the definition of insanity. Nothing will ever change if you yourself don't either change what you're doing, change who you are, or put forth some action behind what it is you want to see. The next thing, declutter. I know I said this at the beginning of the year, but you just don't understand how much of an impact your surroundings have on your mentality, your mental health, your mood. All of those things are associated with your surroundings. And so declutter your spaces. You do not have to do it all at once, but you need to map out a plan that says, to this week I'm going to focus on the kitchen. Next week I'm going to focus on the bathrooms. The week after that, the kids' rooms, etc., etc. Till you wind up with your entire home decluttered. And then once you've gotten it decluttered, you're going to have to create some sort of schedule to be able to continue maintaining that declutter. But everything starts with the first step, and the first step is going to be decluttering. The next thing I would urge you to do is to get rid of things that no longer serve who you are or the direction that your life is headed in. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you have things in your closet that you know you're not going to wear in this next season of who you are or who you're becoming, get rid of it. If you have people in your life that you know cannot grow with you into this next season of where you're going, cut the ties. If you have things that you are holding on to that no longer serve who you are or where you're going. Get rid of them. There's going to be no more, oh, I'll just hold on to this because I'm hoping that I do this, that, and the other. No. Because all that does is create clutter and you become a hoarder. And we don't want to hoard things. What we want to do is release those things in order to make room for what we're trying to do, what we're trying to receive, what we're trying to accomplish. You can't really make space for the new you if you can't get rid of the old you. So the next thing that I would urge you to do is get rid of those things. The next thing that you'll be able to do once you have did your own reality check, you've decluttered, and you've gotten rid of things that no longer serve you is to get everyone on board. If you're living in a household and it's more than just you, then guess what? Everybody needs to be on board. It needs to be a common vision that you all are sharing and that everyone is taking part in to upkeep this progress. Because I keep telling you all the time, you cannot do it all by yourself. Even if you try to do it all by yourself, burnout will come. That's when you need to call in the reinforcements, or if you're a person who lives alone, then guess what? You have a plan of action to accomplish and maintain the things that you are trying to achieve. The very last thing that I would tell you to do is to create a schedule for maintenance. It's good to have all these things in place. It's good to get everybody on board. But as always, if you don't create a schedule of maintenance, then guess what? You're going to wind up in the same state in which you started. And I don't want that for you. You have to get your house in order. If you don't get your house in order, the things that tend to occur is chaos, destruction. You lose things, you overbuy. I could go on and on and on and on about how detrimental it is for you to get your house in order. And I could just share my own story. I know when I was just going with no plan, really no direction, no anything. My life was just, even though I was functional, it was still chaotic. And that's when the depression set in. That's when the anxiety set in. That's when the overspending set in. That's when overeating set in. That's when the feelings of overwhelm set in. All of those things occurred when I really feel like I had no purpose, no direction, no anything. There was no organization about my life. And although I was a functioning adult, even with kids, it was still to wonder, why do I keep perpetuating these same cycles? Why do I keep going through the same things over and over and over again? And the reality check was I keep going through those things because number one, I have not consulted God on what it is I need to be doing for one. Number two, I was just going. I didn't set a plan. I never made goals. I never made an agenda for my day. It was whatever comes my way is what my day is going to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, you know there is some sort of organization to it, meaning I have to get up at a certain time to get my kids to school. I have to get up at a certain time to get to work, etc., etc. But what I mean is, outside of being functional in those things, my life was complete chaos. It was a mess, and I I hold it together on the outside well, but on the inside, it was definitely impacting my mental health, my physical health, and my children. And so, again, I want to encourage you because I know that if I can do certain things and like really, really, really focus and be disciplined and be consistent, then I know you can do it. I know I'm a free spirit, but that does not come with just freedom to do whatever it is you want. I'm a free spirit in the fact that I love openly. I enjoy just being, but there still has to be some sort of organization to that. Also, I want to encourage you, get your house in order, because if you're praying for certain things, you really truly need to make room for them. You can't just expect things to grow, or if they do grow, and you don't have a plan of action right now over the few things that you have dominion over, then how are you going to have dominion over more? You can't maintain those things or keep those things if you have not figured out what it will take to keep it. To whom much is given, much is required. One other thing that I want to say is we can pray for more, we can ask God for more, we can even go out and grow our businesses, we can foster new relationships. You can bring as many people into your life as you want, or you can bring as many people into your business as you want, or you can acquire as many things in life as you want. But if you have not mastered how to keep all of those things maintained, then it's going to be more difficult for you to even really maintain more. And so, in asking for your more, what you really need to be asking for and praying for is guidance, discipline, focus, and consistency in what you have right now. And I always like to say this. I know that life gets busy, we all get busy, but I'm in the season of I'm not making excuses. If I'm too busy, it means whatever goal I set is going to be able to be achieved in the time that I have available to do it. So if I say I want to declutter a room, then guess what? I'm going to set aside 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever minutes that I need to set aside to get that specific thing done. And if you're focusing and doing what you need to do, then guess what? The word I'm too busy will not even come out of your vocabulary when it comes to getting the things done that you know you need to do. Sometimes I do understand life gets thrown at you at a speed in which you cannot handle it. And in those moments, it's you keeping your head above water. I get it. But in those instances, we still have to give ourselves grace, but we don't need to make an excuse or we don't need to allow those things to then become our crutch as to why we're not doing the things that we have already said that we want to do. I'm a living witness that when you get rid of the excuses and you take full accountability for yourself solely alone first, everything else will really just fall into place. Let us all get our houses in order, our homes in order, so that we can receive all the blessings that God wants to bestow upon us. As always, it's been time well spent. I do hope that you found this episode beneficial. And guess what? Reach out. Let me know what it is that you're going to start focusing on this week. We're almost out of this month. So guess what? It's crunch time. Start moving, start planning, start doing those things that we want to do. Because we're going to continue doing them in the next quarter. But guess what? We're going to add on to the things that we need to do. As always, be blessed. I love you. There is nothing you can do about it. See you all next week.